Okay, welcome everyone. Thank you for joining us on this Friday for 12:45 Facebook Live from Williams Island Spa and Wellness Center. Today we have a very special guest. We have a co-founder, Ross Bloom, with us from the BioStation. Many of you have already experienced them getting your complimentary B12 shots on Wednesday in September. We've had a great, energetic crowd, right, coming in and getting their B12 and introducing the BioStation to Williams Island. So I thought over the course of the next couple of Fridays, we'll have specific topics about what the BioStation does. However, today I just wanted everyone to meet Ross, and let's get an overview of what the BioStation does. So Ross, I see that you have 3 pillars that helps define the BioStation, which is defy age, replenish life, and restore beauty. So if you could just briefly talk about each one of those and just let the membership know exactly what comes under defy age, for example.
Awesome, perfect. So thank you guys for having us. Gary, I didn't even recognize you in a workout outfit, by the way. So I'm glad that you introduced yourself to me. So thanks for that. Okay. So thank you guys so much. It's a pleasure to be here. We're super excited to be part of the community you guys have built. And as you know, we've been there or on site offering some complimentary nutrient injections, and just it's been very refreshing seeing sort of the tight-knit community you guys have developed in such a beautiful atmosphere. So for us, we're just super excited to be there and very grateful for the opportunity. Carrie, thanks so much for sort of pushing this along and knowing that what we do is so relative in today's world, and obviously trying to improve and enhance amenities within your facility. So again, thanks for having us. But back to your question, yes. So oftentimes people ask me, what is the BioStation? And excuse me. And it's a very challenging question to answer because of the many services that we offer, right? So we've been able to define our practice, which is a medical practice, and we would fall under the scope of functional medicine. But we identify 3 main pillars of care. So to the question you asked, is one of the main pillars is called defy age. So defy age for us has really been always the foundation of our practice. It's where patients come in electively, right? They want to walk through our doors. They want to learn about their current state of health and well-being. And then they want to be guided to improve both those states with the hope and expectation that we can prevent aging diseases that are inevitable as we continue to progress through life. The process for sort of that pillar is patient comes to us. We do very extensive testing and diagnostic studies. You spend at a minimum 1 hour with one of our licensed credentialed medical providers. You go through your history, you go through your family history, you go through your specific goals that you would like to achieve as we continue to age, any specific issues you're experiencing. And our medical team develops a specific individualized plan for that patient. And the patient would review the plan with one of our patient advocates, which is in our service center. So it's also a very concierge feel to that specific pillar. And a patient onboards on a managed program. And sort of as the patient progresses through the suggested treatment plans and that program that's been selected, we continue to monitor the patient to make sure we're hitting diagnostic markers that we believe would create optimal biological functions. And if we hit those markers, the hope is that on the clinical side, the patient can acknowledge the alleviation of any symptoms. And further down the line is that if we do all of those things, then we can sort of navigate through, again, our genetic disposition that we're destined for, right? Whether it's cardiovascular disease, diabetes, et cetera. If we hit those markers that we're aiming for, then those issues and those end-stage disease can be avoided. That's really the purpose of that sort of pillar. But to not to get so clinical on it, but ultimately the plan for that pillar is we want you to feel better, and in exchange, you look better, and honestly, people live better. right? And they start to make better choices all around. So there's a lot of, I'd say, depth to that specific pillar, because it can go, it can start in the gut, it can be cognitive, it could be, sexual issues. All of those are really topics that are focused in that specific pillar. But it's very personalized. So, there's really not a lot of boundaries. I should say the framework for that pillar is very flexible for each patient. So that's sort of the premise of functional medicine, is to not have such rigidness within what we're trying to accomplish.
Right. Okay. So let's move on to the other two, and then we're going to come back to Defy Age. So Replenish Life. What's that pillar?
So Replenish Life are all services that are rendered inside of one of our facilities. So again, we're all deficient and imbalanced on what our body would optimally need, right? So Replenish Life, we offer nutrient injections similar to what we've done within the spa, B12 shots. We have a whole line of what we call branded nutrient injections. We offer a whole line of branded nutrient IV therapy, right? So you can, the purpose of that is taking massive amounts of micronutrients and getting it directly to the cell and bypassing the GI tract, which has been proven and known to be extremely helpful. So that's one of the reasons we offer that. We have a whole line of branded supplements that have been sort of doctor designed and doctor prescribed. We do a lot of detox cleanses, and there's actually a weight management component to that pillar as well.
Okay. And then Restore Beauty.
Restore Beauty. So yeah, we our patients, when we opened a practice, it wasn't that pillar didn't exist, but our patients started asking for cosmetic services because they very much identified with the brand. They very much love being part of what our mission and our vision is. And so we started offering things such as Botox, all of your injectables, lasers, body contouring, everything that makes people look more youthful.
Right. So you're taking from Defy Age, Replenish Life, Restore Beauty. You're really being the most optimal person, hopefully, right, that you can be through a medical doctor from the inside out, with treatment plans from a physician, overlooked by a client advocate, right? And then certain things are prescribed or suggested. You can be on a program, or you can also just come in for an IV therapy. Let's say you're jet lagged, you're dehydrated, you feel like you need a boost. I could just walk in and go through whatever I would need to do as I walk into a medical office, and then sit for 45 minutes or so and have an IV therapy, right? Or I could go through a whole program.
Yeah, so very good question. I would say to you that every person that walks through one of our facilities, even though it looks just like sort of the background that I'm in, this is actually a photo of our location in Miami in the Midtown Market. So it's very inviting. It's beautiful. It's fun. Every person that walks through our doors is actually recognized as a patient. So I just want to make it known that, yes, you can come in and receive treatments. Obviously, we're going to evaluate you as a patient to make sure that that treatment is actually safe for the patient. But yeah, so the reason why we do it this way is functional medicine is relatively new. I would say it's actually more trendy now than ever before. And some people are very cautious, right? Because it's not traditional. Most physicians are not taught it in medical school. So the other services are a way for people to, I guess, get introduced to functional medicine and sort of test the waters, if you will. And so, yes, so all of what you said is accurate. There's things that are managed plans that can continue for as long as a patient wants to continue for. And or a patient can stop by and get a quick B-lean injection right after one of your beautiful, extraneous workout programs that you put them on. And
beautiful extraneous workout. Wow.
For me, it's beautiful. I love fitness. I love exercise. I know you do, but ultimately, so yeah, it's very easy, fast, or very in depth, and the relationship really is dictated depending upon what the patient wants.
Right. So quickly, So I've had the opportunity, right, to go through your program. And so I just want to go step by step. And you can stop me at any time if I'm leaving a crucial step out, okay? But the first thing I did was walk into the Midtown office because we're not yet open. I had a physical. I had a blood draw, I think 4 or 5 vials. Then once the lab results came back, I had a phone call set up with my physician that was for me. And I had a really lengthy conversation about the lab results and what was recommended. And then I had the patient advocate call me and go through the recommended treatment plan. And I could have everything, I could have a little bit. We kind of had a nice conversation again about the treatment plan, and then it was all sent to my home. And if I had any questions, I could come into Midtown, which at one point I did, just to make sure I was doing things correctly. All of it was extremely welcoming, very professional. And I wasn't really feeling that bad before I went through your program, but I have to say I'm feeling pretty good, really good. You know, I mean, it definitely makes a difference to have things balanced out. And I always feel free that if I have a question, I can always call my patient advocate and get a response, a timely response, and move on with my program. After 3 months, I was able to go back, have another blood draw, do comparisons, and then you just kind of tweak it as you go. And
Yeah,
it's
so that,
fantastic.
well, I'm happy to hear you say that, because that's sort of what that's our value add to patients, right? So ultimately, yeah, so you're onboarded through a patient advocate, and that's sort of, let's say your health coach, but that's really your concierge component throughout your journey with the BioStation. And again, the journey is really dictated by the patient, right? So yeah, we get to, the whole purpose is that testing that we do really provides a lot of data, right? And
Right.
so, and that data helps dictate the plan that is designed specific by the medical provider and you. So you're part of that collaborative effort, right? So, you know, lab results are X and they should be Y. That typically correlates to a symptom, right? And making sure that that's in fact factual for the patient. And so, so my father's our medical director, right? And he's known in my family as the professor, right? At any given chance, he would like to teach you and educate. And so really that's, again, one of the, I'd say the fibers of the practice is patients leaving with a very sound understanding of their whole biological system working and or not working. And so educating the patients and then advising accordingly is really our value and our mission to our patients. And ultimately the patient advocates that have been trained by all of the medical team that help onboard the patients help you understand and digest everything that's been, I guess, addressed and spoken and learned during that consultation. So you as the patient can make a really good decision on what you want to do moving forward. And sort of, and to your point, we never want you to feel lost, right? Or that you don't have a proper guide to help you through this journey, because it is that, it's a journey. And there's always opportunities for improving that process and your journey, right? So the monitoring helps dictate, you know, the course that's been designed to make sure that we are heading in the right direction. So I'm glad you're feeling better, right? And sometimes we don't realize that we're not feeling well until we do start to feel really good, right? And so I thank you for taking the chance and going through the process, because I always say to people, if nothing else, you learn a lot about yourself that unfortunately most people, most physicians don't have time to dive that deep and spend that much time. So
Well, I'll tell you what's really nice is not going into a standard medical office, finding out what's wrong with you and then correcting. What's nice about the BioStation is going in to even feel better, right? Because I think we all can feel better. We all can do things in our lifestyle, and lifestyle was talked about also. right?
Right.
It's not just supplements and shots and all that kind of stuff. It's a true conversation, like you're saying. It's an education. And yeah, it makes you think about, oh, you know, what am I eating? How much am I sleeping? How much am I working out? You know, is there a balance? Could I have a better balance? All those things are part of the BioStation platform, I believe. We need to wrap this up, Ross, because time just flies on these Facebook Lives. So it seems that we're on track to open in 90 days or less, I think. Here, the construction is underway. And people have been asking what the hours of operation would be. And so per our conversation, we're kind of thinking, I don't want to say anything is for sure, but maybe a Monday through Thursday, 8 to 5, 9 to 5, and a weekend, which would probably be a Saturday, 2 to 1, something along those lines. So it'd be 5 days a week that you would be available.
Absolutely. Yep. So that's, I mean, again, for us, we're excited to be there. So if the demand is outside of those time periods, then we can just adjust the demand. That's yeah. So we're here to help in any way we can. So whatever works for the community, we will adapt to that. But that's sort of the initial thought and how we roll it out, and then we can always go from there. So
great. Ross, thank you so much for joining us. It's a pleasure to have you, and we'll set up a topic for next week, next Friday. All right, everyone. Thank you so much. See you later.
Appreciate your help. Enjoy your weekend, everyone. Thanks so much. Have a good one.